Hello, Lakers Nation. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com, and this is the Lakers Nation newsfeed. And today's a good day because your Los Angeles Lakers just jumped up to the 4th pick in the NBA draft lottery. Going to break it down what this means for the team moving forward. And let me just give you a little spoiler. It's huge. This is massive, and I'm going to dive into exactly what they can do with this pick and why this is such a big deal. First, quick shout out to our sponsor, betonline.ag, your home for online gambling. Make sure you head over to clnsmedia.com/LeBron. That lets them know that you came from us. And then you punch in the promo code CLNS50 to get 50% on your first deposit. Great deal, as well as Uptime energy drinks. Uptime is how energy should feel. You can find them at 7-Eleven, GNC, or do like I do and just order an entire case off of Amazon.com. Uptime energy, it is amazing stuff. I need some. You guys can probably see I'm exhausted. I am worn out emotionally from this draft lottery. I hope that you guys were on the edge of your seats just like I was. Man, when that 11th card got pulled and it wasn't the Lakers, instead it was the Minnesota Timberwolves, had to be excited that the Lakers had jumped into the top 4. Kyle Kuzma, his lucky purple jacket worked out, and the Lakers end up with the number 4 overall pick. Now look, I know people are going to be a little bit disappointed, which you shouldn't be, considering their pick really should have been 11th or 12th. But people are going to say, look, this is a 3-player draft, right? You have Barrett, Morant, and of course Zion Williamson, who's going to go first overall to the Pelicans. The Pelicans get the number 1 overall pick. Unbelievable. They're about to probably maybe trade a star like Anthony Davis, and here they're given another player to replace him. So the Pelicans will get their star to build around, and we're going to talk about why that matters in just a minute. But so the Lakers getting the number 4 pick, look, if it really is a 3-player draft and then after that is kind of a crapshoot, that's maybe a little bit disappointing. But again, the Lakers just increased the value of their draft pick a ton by moving from 11 to 4, and that's a big deal. Look, even if they decide to keep this pick, here's what we're looking at. Okay, there's a number of different options, but the main guys we're seeing right now are Jarrett Culver, DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, maybe even Cam Reddish you could throw in there. So there's some interesting names there, different types of players that they could target. A lot of different ways they could go with it. Now, why would they do that? Why would they just go ahead and select a player even though they're in win now mode with LeBron James? Well, here's why they would want to do that. They still have a young core. They still have Lonzo Ball. They still have Brandon Ingram. They still have Kyle Kuzma. If you want sustainability moving forward, 35-year-old or soon to be 35-year-old LeBron James may not be the guy that you want to worry the most about. Instead, you may need to build your team around these young players and continue growing organically that way. In that sense, taking a guy like, say, Jarrett Culver, okay, might be appealing because you can add him to your young core, build your pieces going forward, and then hopefully have a really strong team for another decade instead of just a few years. Okay, so there is some incentive to go ahead and work these guys out, figure out who you think the guy is, and if the Lakers think that there's somebody that's being overlooked, yes, we're hearing a lot that, look, Zion is the guy, and that's it. And look, I agree with that. And that after that, there's nobody else that's a true superstar, but a couple of guys who could be really good, and then after that, who knows? Okay, maybe the Lakers work these guys out and they find a diamond in the rough. Maybe they find something that other people are overlooking. Not saying that's going to happen, but if it does, that may give them enough incentive to go ahead and hang on to this pick and make it and know that they're going to have a good young player locked up on team control for years to come. So that's something to consider. However, I think the more likely scenario that we're going to see with this pick is that the Lakers are going to shop it heavily. Makes a lot of sense for them to move this pick. First of all, you've got guaranteed salary coming in with the number 4 overall pick, so that impacts your cap space moving forward. And we know the Lakers are concerned with their cap space. That's why they signed all those 1-year deals last summer for guys like JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, Michael Beasley, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They all got 1-year deals because the Lakers want max cap space in July. The number 4 pick is going to carry guaranteed salary. So that may not be a positive thing in terms of cap space, in terms of chasing impact free agents. And with LeBron James, you want to try to win now. You want to try to get the most out of him. And that might mean bringing in somebody who's not a rookie, who's going to take a few years to develop, instead someone who's ready to roll right now. And this is why it's so important that they jumped up to number 4. Okay, not only does it mean that you can get a higher caliber player than you could at 11, but it means your pick has that much more value on the trade market. I fully expect the Lakers to explore trading this thing and see what they can get, see what's out there, because who knows? Another team may be ready to move on from a star, may not be even anybody we're hearing about just yet. But look, let's say it's Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards. Would the Wizards consider taking the 4 pick for Beal? Maybe. Is that a piece that the Lakers could use moving forward? Is that better than picking, say, DeAndre Hunter or someone like that? You can certainly make an argument for that. Okay, you could look around the league for other guys that maybe are not in the right situation and that the Lakers might be able to pry loose with the number 4 overall pick. Really interesting spot that they're in that regard. Now, of course, the guy you really want to know about is Anthony Davis. What does this mean for the pursuit of Anthony Davis? Well, this is a really, really, really good thing for the Lakers because now their offer becomes that much stronger and their ability to compete with an offer from, say, the Boston Celtics they're just about on even footing at this point. Okay, if you have a Lakers offer that includes, hey, the 4th overall pick and then some of the Lakers' young talent and maybe a future pick, something like that, that's a strong offer. That's a really strong offer, especially for a Pelicans team that just got Zion Williamson. See, their mentality is now going to be keep Anthony Davis if you can, but if you have to trade him, you've got another star in-house already to build around. You don't have to worry about necessarily getting a superstar or all-star level player in return. Instead, you can just focus on getting young talent that's going to help you moving forward. So if you're the Lakers, you can now sell the Pelicans on getting the number 4 pick, a young talented player, maybe 2, maybe, I don't know. Let's see what they end up offering, and future draft selections. That's a lot of young talent that you're going to be adding to Zion Williamson. The Pelicans could be looking to really build something special with that much future talent, and the Lakers could grab a win now guy like Anthony Davis. Now, the Lakers won't be the only team pursuing him, right? The number 3 pick is certainly this year more valuable than the number 4 pick, okay? Or I should say especially this year. So the New York Knicks are going to get in on it. They've got a number of draft assets that they can offer up, especially from the Porzingis trade. They've got some extra picks lying around that they can use to try to pursue Anthony Davis. And the Boston Celtics. Let's assume for a minute that the Pelicans still are on Team Petty and they feel like the Lakers tried to screw them over at the trade deadline and so they just don't want to deal with the Lakers. They've got the Knicks they can turn to. They're also going to have the Boston Celtics. But here's what I think is fascinating. The Celtics' pursuit of Davis in some ways hinges on Kyrie Irving, who now doesn't seem like a lock to stay with Boston. In fact, he doesn't seem all that happy to be a Boston Celtic anymore. So if Kyrie leaves, that changes everything. That throws a wrench into the plans of the New Orleans Pelicans, who hesitated on trading Davis at the trade deadline because they were waiting to see what Boston's offer would be. Kyrie is going to be used by the Celtics as the Russell Westbrook to Davis's Paul George. They want Kyrie to convince Anthony Davis to stay in Boston. Davis has said he won't. He said, I will not stay in Boston, but they're hoping that the Boston market and Kyrie Irving can kind of change his mind. Well, if Kyrie's gone, will the Celtics offer up their best assets knowing they don't really have anything there to convince Davis to stay and he will bolt after a year? Probably not. If you're Danny Ainge, do you give up Jason Tatum? Do you give up Jaylen Brown knowing that Anthony Davis is only going to be a 1-year rental? Probably not. So again, this would pull the Celtics offer basically off the table. It would make it much more difficult for the Celtics to go all in for Anthony Davis if Kyrie's leaving anyway. So all of this is interconnected, and now that the Lakers have this 4 pick, they can much more easily compete with the Celtics offer, and the Celtics offer, depending on how things go with Kyrie Irving, may not look nearly as strong. So that could put the Lakers back into an interesting 2-team race between themselves and the New York Knicks. Now we'll see if things shake out that way. Who knows? Maybe Kyrie decides to stay in Boston after all and they pursue Davis. But there is the possibility that the Lakers could find themselves right back in the thick of the Anthony Davis pursuit and look to unite him and LeBron James and then use whatever cap space they have left over to bring in help from there. Should be really, really interesting this summer. Look, a ton to break down, but bottom line is this. This is a great day for the Lakers, and how important is it at this point, knowing that for the past, 5 weeks now since Magic Johnson resigned, it has been nothing but negativity, and look, admittedly, a lot of it's been self-inflicted, but negative story after negative story after negative story about the Lakers, now they've got something positive, and this is a big win for them, not just because of the positivity, but because of the asset that it gives them moving forward that Rob Pelinka can use in a couple of different ways. So the Lakers now have some really intriguing options ahead of them, and it's going to be a big, big summer. We'll see how they end up using this number 4 overall pick, but it can play a massive role in setting the course of this team moving forward. All right, guys, for more on this story and everything else going on in the world of the Los Angeles Lakers, make sure you head over to LakersNation.com and keep it tuned right here to the Lakers Nation YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified when all of our latest videos come out. And if you're listening to this just in the podcast format, if you wouldn't mind going over to iTunes, make sure you click rate, review, and subscribe to this show. That's the Lakers Nation news feed. We certainly appreciate it. Follow us on social media at Lakers Nation on Twitter and Facebook, and at Lakers Nation Official on Instagram. And you can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Till next time, see ya.